Welcome to the Dharma Blossom. Imagine this: you're at work, it's a hectic day, and 1,000 thoughts are racing through your mind. The pressure builds, deadlines loom, and with each passing moment, the anxiety deepens. Your pulse quickens, and that familiar voice of self-doubt starts to creep in. But now, instead of spiraling, you take a deep breath. You focus on the moment, on the steady rhythm of your breath, and, just like that, a wave of calm washes over you. You see things with clarity, make decisions without panic, and handle your responsibilities with a sense of ease. That's the power of mindfulness, a power that, once cultivated, becomes a constant ally through life's storms. In today's episode, we're going to dive into how mindfulness and meditation aren't just feel-good practices, they're powerful tools for mental strength and resilience. We'll explore real stories of people who have transformed stress, overcome challenges, and even turned self-doubt into self-assurance through meditation. Whether it's managing the daily pressures of work, tackling tough relationships, or finding peace amid personal struggles, mindfulness brings us back to our center. Together, we'll uncover how these practices can help you find balance and empower your mind in ways you might never have imagined. So sit back, take a deep breath, and let's embark on this journey together. Guided breathing and grounding techniques. Breathing is foundational in meditation practice, and its role in grounding our minds and bodies cannot be overstated. Through mindfulness, guided breathing techniques help anchor us to the present moment, offering a reliable way to calm our nervous system, regulate our emotional responses, and enhance mental clarity. Here, I will provide an in-depth exploration of these techniques, their physiological effects, and insights from science and personal experience that showcase their profound impact on the mind and body. Diaphragmatic breathing, the core technique. The first technique, diaphragmatic breathing, or abdominal breathing, is a fundamental approach in meditation that brings awareness to the breath while engaging the diaphragm to allow fuller, deeper breaths. Here's how it works. Inhale deeply through the nose for about 4 counts, allowing the belly to rise as the diaphragm moves down. Exhale slowly through the mouth, letting the belly fall and the diaphragm return to its natural position. This type of breathing slows the respiratory rate and activates the parasympathetic nervous system, known for its rest and digest functions. When we breathe this way, we signal to our brain that we are safe, reducing the fight or flight response driven by the sympathetic nervous system. This leads to immediate physical effects like a slower heart rate, decreased muscle tension, and a reduction in cortisol levels, our body's main stress hormone. For those dealing with chronic stress, this technique can be an invaluable tool for establishing a state of calm and balance. Box breathing, a technique for focus and stability. Box breathing is another popular method, particularly useful for managing stress and boosting concentration. The technique is simple yet powerful. Inhale deeply for a count of 4, hold the breath for 4 counts, exhale slowly for 4 counts. Hold the breath again for 4 counts. This cyclical breathing pattern helps in focusing the mind, which is especially useful for those who struggle with distractions or anxiety. Each segment of the breath, inhale, hold, exhale, hold, creates a rhythm that draws the mind away from intrusive thoughts, centering attention on the breath itself. Research from Stanford University has shown that this method can lower blood pressure, reduce heart rate, and increase feelings of stability and grounding, making it ideal for people dealing with anxiety or high-stress environments. On a personal note, box breathing has helped me tremendously in high-stakes situations, whether it's before delivering a lecture or making important decisions. It fosters a sense of groundedness, as if I'm creating a pause button for my mind, allowing me to process information calmly and thoughtfully. For 7-8 breathing, a technique for calmness and relaxation. For individuals facing insomnia or high levels of tension, the 4-7-8 breathing technique is a potent strategy to create a sense of calmness. Inhale deeply through the nose for a count of 4. Hold the breath for 7 counts. Exhale slowly through the mouth for 8 counts, with a whoosh sound. The prolonged exhalation helps release more carbon dioxide from the lungs, triggering a relaxation response. Studies have shown that extending the exhalation phase slows the heart rate, lowers blood pressure, and leads to an increased feeling of relaxation. Practiced regularly, this technique can help train the body to enter a more relaxed state even in stressful situations. From my own experience, I have found 4-7-8 breathing especially beneficial at the end of a long day. As someone who has meditated for years, I often turn to this method before sleep, as it helps settle the mind and body, making it easier to let go of lingering thoughts or tensions. For beginners, it may feel a bit challenging to hold the breath for 7 counts. But with practice, it becomes second nature and can transform nighttime routines into restful practices. Breathing techniques and their impact on focus and mental clarity. Another advantage of mindful breathing is its effect on focus and concentration. By guiding our attention to each inhalation and exhalation, we train the mind to concentrate, making it less susceptible to distractions. This skill becomes invaluable in daily life, as it improves productivity, decision-making, and overall mental clarity. Scientific studies have shown that practices like alternate nostril breathing can significantly increase focus and attention. In alternate nostril breathing, you close one nostril with a finger. Inhale through the other nostril, switch, and then exhale through the opposite nostril. This pattern continues, switching sides each time. Researchers have observed that this technique balances the activity between the left and right hemispheres of the brain, promoting a state of mental equilibrium. Many people, including myself, have found that alternate nostril breathing enhances focus and reduces mental clutter. The physiological effects of these techniques are substantial. By engaging in mindful breathing, we increase oxygen supply to the brain, which in turn improves cognitive function. A well-oxygenated brain is capable of greater concentration, memory retention, and problem-solving abilities. For those who face demanding work or study schedules, even 5 minutes of mindful breathing can yield noticeable improvements in focus and performance. Mastering awareness and letting go. In the practice of mindfulness, one of the central challenges we face is learning to identify and let go of intrusive thoughts and emotions. These unwelcome thoughts, which often come in the form of worry, regret, fear, or self-criticism, can disrupt our peace and hold us back from experiencing the present moment fully. The good news is that through mindfulness, we can gain control over our reactions to these thoughts and emotions, allowing us to let them go rather than being controlled by them. Understanding the nature of intrusive thoughts and emotions. Intrusive thoughts are sudden, involuntary thoughts that often arise without warning and are typically distressing or unwanted. Psychologists often refer to them as automatic negative thoughts, ANTs, and they can range from fleeting worries to persistent doubts or self-criticism. Emotions such as anger, fear, or sadness frequently accompany these thoughts, creating a cycle that can lead to overthinking or anxiety. Mindfulness offers a unique approach to dealing with intrusive thoughts and emotions by encouraging us to observe them without judgment. Instead of trying to eliminate these thoughts or emotions, mindfulness teaches us to acknowledge their presence, examine their nature, and, ultimately, let go of our attachment to them. This process is transformative, as it empowers us to break free from patterns of rumination and overthinking that keep us trapped in negative mental states. Recognizing intrusive thoughts and emotions. The first step the first step in letting go is learning to recognize when intrusive thoughts and emotions arise. This requires a level of self-awareness that can be cultivated through regular mindfulness practices. For example, if you frequently catch yourself dwelling on past mistakes or worrying about the future, mindfulness can help you become more aware of these tendencies. By observing your thoughts, you develop the ability to identify when they're unproductive or harmful. To illustrate, let's consider the case of Dan Harris, an American journalist and author who publicly shared his struggles with anxiety and negative thinking. Harris experienced a live, on-air panic attack, which led him to seek help through meditation. In his book, 10% Happier, Harris describes how mindfulness helped him become aware of his anxious thoughts rather than letting them dominate his mind. By simply noticing his mental patterns, he was able to acknowledge his anxiety without becoming consumed by it, eventually learning to let go of the hold these thoughts had over him. Observing without judgment, a key mindfulness practice. One of the most powerful aspects of mindfulness is the practice of observing thoughts and emotions without judgment. When we label our thoughts or feelings as bad or wrong, we create a sense of resistance, which often intensifies them. In contrast, by simply observing these thoughts and allowing them to be, we reduce their emotional impact. Imagine, for instance, you are in a stressful situation at work and a wave of self-doubt comes over you. Thoughts like "I'm not good enough" or "what if I fail" might surface. Instead of fighting these thoughts or believing them outright, you can acknowledge them with a gentle "I see you" mentality. You recognize them as passing mental events rather than truths. One exercise that's particularly helpful here is the leaf on a stream visualization, where you imagine each thought as a leaf floating down a gentle stream. As each thought arises, you place it on the stream and watch it drift away. This imagery encourages you to observe your thoughts without clinging to them. With practice, this simple exercise becomes a powerful tool for creating mental space and breaking the cycle of ruminative thinking. Practical tips for handling anxiety and overthinking. While mindfulness can be effective in dealing with general intrusive thoughts, it's also an invaluable tool for handling specific challenges like anxiety and overthinking. Below are several practical mindfulness techniques that can help when faced with these common mental hurdles. 1. Grounding through sensory awareness. When anxiety or overthinking takes hold, grounding yourself in the present moment through sensory awareness can be remarkably effective. One simple grounding technique involves noticing what you can see, hear, touch, taste, and smell. For example, if you find yourself caught in a loop of worry, take a moment to describe your surroundings in detail. I see the green leaves on the tree. I hear the distant hum of traffic. I feel the texture of my clothing. This redirects your attention away from racing thoughts and anchors you in the physical present. 2. Labeling thoughts as just thoughts. Often, intrusive thoughts gain power because we believe them to be true or significant. A useful technique here is labeling. When a negative or anxious thought arises, label it as just a thought. For example, if you think, "I'll never succeed," simply label it as thinking or worrying. This labeling helps create distance between you and the thought, reducing its emotional impact. Research shows that labeling thoughts can decrease activity in the amygdala, the brain's fear center, thereby lowering stress responses and helping us remain calm. 3. The stop technique. The stop technique is a simple yet powerful tool to interrupt intrusive thoughts and cultivate mindfulness in stressful moments. It stands for S. Stop. Whatever you're doing, pause momentarily. T. Take a breath. Focus on your breathing to ground yourself. O. Observe. Notice what is happening around you and within you. Thoughts, emotions, physical sensations. P. Proceed. Decide on the best course of action based on what you observed, for the stop technique is especially helpful in moments of anxiety, as it provides a structured way to regain control over one's reactions. Personally, I've found it invaluable when I feel overwhelmed by stress or when negative thoughts begin to spiral. By taking just a few moments to pause, I often find that the initial intensity of the emotion dissipates, leaving me better equipped to handle the situation calmly. Mindful breathing for letting go. One of the most effective ways to release intrusive thoughts is through mindful breathing exercises. Deep, slow breathing activates the parasympathetic nervous system, which promotes relaxation and reduces stress. A specific technique called 4-7-8 breathing, where you inhale for 4 counts, hold for 7, and exhale for 8, has been shown to lower anxiety levels and can be used whenever intrusive thoughts arise. Personally, I practice 4-7-8 breathing when my mind becomes cluttered with worries. The extended exhalation, in particular, has a soothing effect that helps me detach from my thoughts and regain a sense of calm. By focusing on the breath, I create a mental pause that allows me to choose a more constructive response. Letting go, the art of non-attachment. Letting go, in the context of mindfulness, doesn't mean ignoring or suppressing our thoughts and emotions. Instead, it involves cultivating a sense of non-attachment. When we learn to view our thoughts as passing events in the mind, we free ourselves from the need to control or eliminate them. A useful analogy is to think of your mind as the sky and your thoughts as clouds. No matter how stormy or dark the clouds may appear, they are only temporary, and the sky remains unchanged beneath them. By practicing non-attachment, we allow thoughts and emotions to come and go without identifying with them. This shift in perspective can be transformative, particularly for those who struggle with negative self-talk or self-criticism. Personal experience with non-attachment. Non-attachment has been a pivotal part of my own mindfulness journey. Like many people, I once believed that achieving happiness required eliminating all negative thoughts and feelings. Over time, I've learned that trying to control or banish these thoughts only strengthens their grip. Through mindfulness, I've cultivated a non-attached stance, allowing thoughts to arise and pass without letting them define my mood or behavior. In one instance, I remember feeling an intense wave of frustration during a particularly challenging work project. Rather than trying to suppress the feeling, I observed it, noting how it felt physically, a tightness in my chest, shallow breathing, and mentally, irritating thoughts about self-worth. By observing rather than reacting, I was able to let go of the frustration more quickly, ultimately refocusing my energy on completing the task without lingering resentment. Lessons from mindfulness. Embracing the present. Mindfulness teaches us that the present moment is all we truly have. When we dwell on past regrets or future worries, we lose touch with the present and become trapped in cycles of negativity. By letting go of our attachment to thoughts and emotions, we can reconnect with the here and now, experiencing life as it unfolds rather than through the lens of past or future fears. For anyone struggling with intrusive thoughts or emotional turmoil, remember that mindfulness is a journey rather than a destination. It takes time and practice to cultivate a non-attached, observant mind. But with patience, the benefits are profound: reduced anxiety, greater resilience, and a deeper sense of peace. As you continue to practice, you'll find that mastering awareness and letting go becomes second nature, a liberating skill that allows you to approach life with clarity, facing life's challenges with resilience. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from adversity, to withstand the pressures of life, and to find strength within ourselves when external circumstances seem overwhelming. It's a quality that has been essential for countless figures throughout history, from political leaders and activists to scientists and artists. While resilience might appear innate, it's also a trait that can be developed, and mindfulness meditation offers a profound way to cultivate it. The role of resilience in overcoming adversity. Resilience is often developed in the face of hardship. When life presents us with difficulties, we have two choices: to crumble under the weight of those challenges or to rise above them, using each obstacle as a stepping stone for growth. This ability to adapt and thrive in adversity is a defining characteristic of resilience. For example, Nelson Mandela spent 27 years in prison under the apartheid regime in South Africa. During this time, he was subjected to harsh conditions and grueling labor. Yet, he maintained his composure and emerged with a steadfast determination to dismantle apartheid and build a unified nation. Mandela's resilience was rooted in his ability to find inner strength, even when his external circumstances were bleak. Through practices similar to meditation, reflection, solitude, and mindfulness, he maintained mental clarity and a positive outlook, allowing him to inspire and lead a movement. Another example of resilience can be found in the life of Viktor Frankl, an Austrian neurologist and psychiatrist who survived the horrors of Nazi concentration camps. In his seminal book, Man's Search for Meaning, Frankl describes how finding purpose and meaning amid suffering helped him endure unimaginable hardship. He observed that those who could find meaning in their suffering tended to survive. Frankl's insights mirror the teachings of mindfulness, as they emphasize the power of perspective and inner strength to transform adversity. These stories illustrate that resilience is not just about surviving difficult experiences, it's about finding ways to turn those experiences into opportunities for personal growth. Meditation and mindfulness are powerful tools that can help us develop this inner resilience by promoting mental clarity, reducing stress, and encouraging a positive outlook even in the face of adversity. Meditation as a foundation for resilience. Meditation provides a stable foundation for resilience by fostering a state of mental calm and emotional balance. When we practice mindfulness, we train our minds to focus on the present moment rather than becoming overwhelmed by worries about the future or regrets about the past. This clarity of mind allows us to face challenges with a more grounded, resilient perspective. One effective meditation technique for building resilience is mindful breathing. By focusing on each breath, we develop the ability to center ourselves, even in stressful situations. This simple act of observing the breath can have profound effects on our nervous system, reducing the activity of the sympathetic nervous system, responsible for the fight or flight response, and enhancing the parasympathetic nervous system, which promotes relaxation and healing. When we cultivate this practice, we're better equipped to respond to life's challenges with calmness and composure. Developing a positive outlook through mindfulness. One of the key aspects of resilience is maintaining a positive outlook, even when faced with adversity. This does not mean ignoring difficulties or pretending that challenges don't exist. Rather, it involves acknowledging the reality of a situation while choosing to focus on solutions and possibilities instead of dwelling on obstacles. Mindfulness meditation plays a critical role here by training us to observe our thoughts without judgment. Instead of letting negative thoughts take control, we learn to let them pass, creating space for optimism and hope. A study conducted at the University of North Carolina showed that people who regularly practiced mindfulness were more likely to experience positive emotions and were better able to recover from stressful situations. This capacity to bounce back is at the heart of resilience. By observing our thoughts and emotions without attaching ourselves to them, we reduce the influence of negative thinking patterns. This shift in perspective enables us to approach challenges with a mindset that favors growth and resilience. Historical examples of resilience cultivated through inner practices. the teachings of Buddhist monks and other spiritual practitioners throughout history have illustrated how inner practices can foster resilience. Consider the story of Thich Nhat Hanh, a Vietnamese Zen Buddhist monk and peace activist who worked tirelessly to promote nonviolence during the Vietnam War. Despite facing exile and intense personal hardship, he used his meditation practice to cultivate resilience and compassion, even for those who opposed him. Thich Nhat Hanh's teachings emphasize the importance of mindfulness in developing resilience. Through practices like mindful breathing and walking meditation, he encouraged his followers to cultivate a sense of inner peace, regardless of external circumstances. This approach not only allowed him to withstand the trials of war and exile, but also to become a powerful advocate for peace and healing. His resilience, born of mindfulness and compassion, has inspired millions around the world to find strength within themselves. Similarly, Mahatma Gandhi is an example of resilience grounded in inner strength and spiritual practice. Gandhi's commitment to nonviolent resistance was tested repeatedly as he fought for India's independence from British rule. Despite facing imprisonment and personal danger, he used meditation and reflection to maintain his resolve and sense of purpose. Gandhi's resilience wasn't just a matter of enduring hardship, it was about staying true to his values and finding strength through spiritual practice. Meditation allowed him to maintain mental clarity, even in the most challenging moments, and helped him lead a movement that transformed a nation. Practical ways to build resilience through mindfulness. Mindfulness offers several practical tools for building resilience, each designed to strengthen our ability to cope with stress and adversity. Below are some specific mindfulness techniques that can help you cultivate resilience. Mindful reflection. Mindful reflection is a practice that involves taking a few moments each day to reflect on our experiences without judgment. This could involve journaling about your thoughts and emotions or simply sitting in silence and observing them. By acknowledging and accepting our feelings, we develop the capacity to process difficult experiences without becoming overwhelmed by them. For instance, if you've had a challenging day at work, try setting aside a few minutes to reflect on the experience. Notice any feelings of frustration or disappointment that arise, but resist the urge to label these emotions as bad or wrong. Instead, simply observe them as they are. This process of mindful reflection can help you develop a more balanced perspective, allowing you to face future challenges with greater resilience. Loving kindness meditation. Loving kindness meditation, also known as metta, involves focusing on positive emotions such as compassion, kindness, and goodwill. By cultivating these feelings toward ourselves and others, we develop a sense of inner strength and connection that can bolster resilience. Research has shown that practicing loving kindness meditation can increase positive emotions and improve overall well-being. This practice encourages us to look beyond our immediate challenges and focus on our interconnectedness with others. When we cultivate feelings of kindness and compassion, we create a supportive inner environment that helps us navigate adversity with grace and resilience. Body scan meditation. The body scan is a mindfulness practice that involves bringing awareness to each part of the body, from head to toe. This practice encourages us to notice any physical sensations, areas of tension, or discomfort without trying to change them. The body scan promotes relaxation and helps us become more attuned to the mind-body connection. When we're able to identify areas of physical tension, we gain insight into how our bodies react to stress. Over time, this awareness allows us to release that tension, promoting resilience on a physical level. For instance, someone who experiences anxiety might notice tightness in their chest during a body scan. By observing this sensation without resistance, they create the conditions for relaxation and release, which can lead to a greater sense of resilience over time. Transforming adversity into growth. mindfulness not only helps us cope with adversity but also enables us to transform it into personal growth. When we approach challenges with resilience, we learn valuable lessons about ourselves and the world around us. Rather than viewing difficulties as setbacks, we begin to see them as opportunities for growth and development. Consider the example of Oprah Winfrey, who overcame a traumatic childhood and numerous hardships to become one of the most influential media personalities in the world. Winfrey has often spoken about the role of mindfulness and meditation in her life, crediting these practices with helping her develop the resilience needed to overcome adversity. By embracing her challenges and using them as a platform for personal growth, she transformed her life and inspired millions of others to do the same. Similarly, Malala Yousafzai, the Pakistani activist and Nobel laureate, demonstrated extraordinary resilience after surviving an attack by the Taliban for advocating for girls' education. Despite the trauma she endured, Malala used mindfulness and reflection to process her experiences and continue her mission. Her resilience has turned her tragedy into a powerful message of hope and determination, proving that adversity can be a catalyst for positive change. Building a resilient mindset through mindfulness. Ultimately, resilience is as much a mindset as it is a skill. Through mindfulness, we learn to cultivate a resilient mindset by developing 3 key attitudes: acceptance, adaptability, and gratitude. Acceptance. Mindfulness teaches us to accept things as they are, without resistance. When we accept our circumstances, we free ourselves from the need to control every aspect of our lives. This acceptance provides a stable foundation for resilience, as it allows us to respond to challenges with clarity and calm. Adaptability. Life is constantly changing, and resilience requires adaptability. Mindfulness helps us stay present, enabling us to adapt to new situations rather than clinging to old ways of thinking. This adaptability is essential for navigating adversity, as it allows us to find creative solutions and approach challenges with an open mind. Gratitude. Practicing gratitude fosters resilience by shifting our focus from what's lacking to what we have. When we appreciate the positives in our lives, we build an inner reservoir of strength that supports us through difficult times. Through mindfulness and meditation, we cultivate resilience by nurturing a mindset that embraces challenges as opportunities for growth. Whether we're inspired by historical figures who overcame great hardships or drawing on personal insights from our own lives, resilience is a quality that can be developed with time and practice. By fostering mental clarity, promoting a positive outlook, and building inner strength, mindfulness empowers us to face life's challenges with unwavering resilience and grace. Cultivating positivity and compassion through visualization. Visualization is a transformative technique in meditation that allows us to harness the power of our minds to foster positivity and compassion. In the context of mindfulness, visualization is used not just as a relaxation tool but as a deliberate practice to shape our emotional responses, deepen empathy, and expand our capacity for kindness. By creating vivid mental images, we can see scenarios of compassion and positive intentions, allowing these qualities to become more natural and habitual in our daily lives. Visualizing compassionate scenarios. One of the most common and effective ways to use visualization in meditation is through compassionate scenarios. These exercises typically involve imagining situations where we actively extend kindness to others, especially to people with whom we may have strained relationships, or practicing self-compassion. Below are several powerful visualization exercises that can be used to develop compassion in meditation. Loving kindness visualization. The loving kindness visualization, or metta meditation, is one of the most widely practiced forms of compassion meditation. In this exercise, we imagine sending love and kindness to different people in our lives. starting with ourselves and gradually expanding to others. We typically begin by visualizing someone we care about deeply and sending them wishes of happiness, health, and peace. Then, we expand these wishes to acquaintances, strangers, and even people we may have conflicts with. Finally, we extend our compassion to all beings, embracing a sense of universal love. In my own practice, I've found this exercise to be transformative, especially when dealing with feelings of anger or resentment. For instance, if I'm feeling frustrated with a colleague, I picture them in my mind, visualize them surrounded by warmth, and silently wish them happiness and freedom from suffering. This simple act of visualization softens my feelings, reminding me of their humanity and allowing me to approach them with greater understanding and compassion. Healing light visualization. Another common visualization technique involves imagining a healing light, often located in the heart or chest area, representing love, compassion, and positivity. This light can be visualized as expanding with each breath, gradually filling the entire body and radiating outward. We can imagine this light spreading to people around us, extending warmth and compassion. This exercise is particularly helpful for fostering self-compassion. Many people struggle with feelings of unworthiness or self-criticism, but by visualizing a source of compassion within themselves, they begin to develop a kinder self-image. I've used this exercise myself during times of self-doubt, imagining the light as a symbol of my inherent worth and potential. Over time, this visualization has helped me become more forgiving toward myself, replacing harsh judgments with a sense of inner peace and self-acceptance. Imagining empathy in difficult interactions. Visualization can also be applied in situations where empathy is difficult to muster. When we find ourselves in conflict with others, it's common to feel defensive or resentful, which can prevent us from seeing things from their perspective. In meditation, we can visualize a scenario where we approach the individual with empathy, imagining ourselves listening to them with patience and understanding their point of view. For example, if there's tension with a family member, I might visualize a conversation where I actively listen to them, observing their expressions and imagining the emotions they might be feeling. This visualization exercise helps cultivate empathy by shifting our focus from our own perspective to a more compassionate understanding of the other person's experience. By practicing this regularly, it becomes easier to respond to others with kindness. Even in challenging situations, many individuals who have practiced visualization and meditation have reported profound changes in their relationships and self-perception. Here are a few personal stories that illustrate how visualization can help develop empathy, overcome resentment, and foster self-love. Letting go of resentment toward a family member. One of my students, a young man named Jason, came to meditation struggling with feelings of resentment toward his father. They had a difficult relationship, and every interaction seemed to trigger old frustrations. During a visualization exercise, Jason began to imagine his father as a young boy, picturing him with innocence and vulnerability. He imagined the struggles his father might have gone through and the pain he might have felt in his own life. Over time, this visualization practice allowed Jason to develop a deep sense of empathy for his father, transforming his resentment into understanding. His interactions with his father became less reactive, and he found himself able to forgive past hurts more easily, fostering self-love after trauma. Another student, Sarah, had experienced significant trauma and found it challenging to feel kindness toward herself. She often described herself as her own worst critic. Through visualization, she began practicing self-compassion by imagining a younger version of herself, a vulnerable, innocent child. In her meditation, she would visualize holding this child, offering her comfort, love, and reassurance. This visualization helped Sarah reconnect with her sense of self-worth and see herself through a more compassionate lens. Over time, she began to silence her inner critic, embracing a gentler, more loving attitude toward herself. Building empathy in a high-stress profession. Visualization has also been valuable in high-stress professions where empathy can wear thin. Dr. Alex, an ER physician, found that working long hours in intense situations made it difficult to maintain compassion for patients, especially when he was exhausted. He began practicing visualization exercises, imagining each patient as someone close to him, a friend or family member. By doing so, he was able to maintain empathy, even during the busiest shifts. Visualization became a vital tool for him, helping him reconnect with his purpose in medicine and keep burnout at bay. Visualization requires practice, but with consistent effort, it can become a powerful tool for fostering compassion and positivity. Here are some techniques that can help you get the most out of your visualization practice. Engage all senses. Effective visualization involves more than just creating a mental image. It includes engaging all of your senses. If you're imagining a compassionate scenario, try to feel the warmth of your emotions, hear the sound of your voice expressing kindness, or sense the physical sensations of your body as you offer love. Engaging multiple senses makes the visualization feel more real and enhances its emotional impact. Practice regularly, like any skill. Visualization improves with practice. Try setting aside a few minutes each day to practice, even if it's just a brief visualization of sending kindness to someone or creating a sense of inner peace. The more consistently you practice, the more natural it becomes to access feelings of compassion and positivity. Start with neutral figures. If it's difficult to begin with people you have conflicts with, start by visualizing compassion for neutral figures, such as a passerby or someone you see occasionally but don't know well. Over time, you can work up to visualizing compassion for people who trigger stronger emotions, building your ability to approach difficult relationships with kindness. Use visualization to reframe challenges. Visualization can also be used to reframe challenging situations. For example, if you're facing a difficult project or task, visualize yourself approaching it with a sense of calm and resilience. Imagine yourself navigating obstacles with ease, turning each challenge into an opportunity for growth. This practice helps build a resilient mindset, allowing you to see difficulties as stepping stones rather than setbacks. The benefits of visualization extend beyond emotional well-being, touching on various aspects of mental and even physical health. Research has shown that practicing compassion can reduce stress, improve relationships, and enhance overall happiness. When we visualize compassion and positivity, we reinforce neural pathways associated with these emotions, making them more accessible in our daily lives. Reduce stress and anxiety. Visualization can help reduce stress by promoting a positive outlook and reducing the grip of negative thought patterns. By visualizing compassionate scenarios, we replace thoughts of anger or resentment with empathy and understanding. This shift in mindset has a calming effect on the nervous system, reducing levels of cortisol and other stress-related hormones. Improved relationships. Practicing visualization and meditation has a ripple effect on our relationships. When we approach others with empathy and kindness, we create an environment of trust and mutual respect. Visualizing compassionate interactions helps us develop patience and understanding, which can transform our relationships, especially with those we find challenging. Enhanced self-esteem and self-worth. Visualization is also a powerful tool for cultivating self-compassion. Many people struggle with negative self-talk and feelings of unworthiness, but by visualizing ourselves in a positive light, we begin to change our self-perception. Practicing self-compassion through visualization can improve self-esteem and foster a stronger sense of self-worth. Increased emotional resilience. By practicing visualization, we develop emotional resilience, making it easier to navigate difficult situations with grace. When we're able to visualize ourselves responding to challenges with compassion, we build confidence in our ability to handle adversity. This resilience not only helps us face personal challenges but also equips us to support others in times of need. Integrating affirmations for daily empowerment. Affirmations are a powerful tool for cultivating a positive mindset and developing a resilient spirit. These statements, when repeated with intention, can reshape our thought patterns and help us embrace qualities such as strength, compassion, and mindfulness. When integrated into daily life, affirmations provide a mental anchor, reminding us of our inherent worth and empowering us to face life's challenges with confidence and clarity. Affirmations are not just phrases we repeat, they are statements of truth that we choose to believe about ourselves. With time and practice, affirmations can transform our self-perception and inspire us to live more fulfilling lives. Below, I'll expand on several empowering affirmations, exploring their practical applications, sharing real-life stories, and highlighting their potential to uplift and transform. I have a strong heart and mind. This affirmation, I have a strong heart and mind, serves as a reminder of our inner resilience. It speaks to both our emotional and mental strength, encouraging us to face challenges with courage and persistence. In a world where obstacles are inevitable, this affirmation reminds us that we have the resources within ourselves to handle whatever comes our way. For example, consider an individual facing a difficult project at work. This project might feel overwhelming, with high expectations and tight deadlines. By repeating the affirmation, I have a strong heart and mind, they reinforce their ability to stay calm, focused, and resilient. This statement provides mental clarity and fosters a sense of determination, helping them navigate the project with greater confidence and purpose. One inspiring story that illustrates the power of this affirmation is the story of J.K. Rowling, the renowned author of the Harry Potter series. Before her success, Rowling faced numerous setbacks, including rejection from multiple publishers and financial difficulties. Through sheer perseverance and an unshakable belief in her work, she found the strength to continue. While Rowling may not have used this exact affirmation, her journey reflects the essence of I have a strong heart and mind. Her determination and mental resilience transformed her hardships into one of the most successful literary careers in history. This affirmation, when applied to our own lives, can remind us that setbacks do not define us. It's our response to them that shapes our future. I am grateful for my inner strength and power. Gratitude is a powerful practice that enhances our sense of well-being and fosters a positive outlook. By affirming I am grateful for my inner strength and power, we acknowledge the strengths we possess and express appreciation for them. This gratitude allows us to focus on our abilities rather than our limitations, cultivating a mindset of abundance rather than lack. Practically, this affirmation can be used at the start of the day as a reminder of our potential. For instance, before a major presentation, an individual might feel nervous or insecure. By repeating this affirmation, they shift their focus from anxiety to gratitude, appreciating the unique strengths they bring to the table, whether it's their knowledge, experience, or creativity. This sense of gratitude grounds them, reducing self-doubt and allowing them to present with authenticity and confidence. A real-life example of this affirmation in action is the journey of Oprah Winfrey. Born into poverty and facing numerous challenges throughout her early life, Oprah's resilience and self-belief propelled her to become one of the most influential figures in media. Oprah frequently speaks about gratitude and the power of inner strength, acknowledging that her success is rooted in an unwavering appreciation for her unique abilities. By embracing this affirmation, we, too, can tap into a sense of gratitude for our strengths, empowering us to move through life with greater confidence and resilience. I am compassionate toward myself and others. Compassion is a foundational aspect of a fulfilling life, enabling us to build strong, meaningful relationships and foster a sense of inner peace. The affirmation "I am compassionate toward myself and others" encourages us to approach both ourselves and others with kindness, understanding, and patience. This affirmation is particularly valuable in today's fast-paced world, where self-criticism and judgment are common. In practical terms, this affirmation can help transform relationships by promoting empathy and patience. For instance, if someone is facing a conflict with a friend or colleague, affirming compassion can shift their perspective from frustration to understanding. Instead of reacting with anger or defensiveness, they can choose to respond with empathy, seeking to understand the other person's point of view. This compassionate approach fosters open communication and can often lead to resolution and growth in relationships. A powerful story that demonstrates the impact of compassion is the life of Mahatma Gandhi. Known for his philosophy of nonviolence, Gandhi consistently approached even his opponents with compassion and respect. His affirmation of compassion toward all, including those who opposed him, inspired a movement that eventually led to India's independence. Gandhi's story teaches us that compassion is not a weakness but a strength that can bring about profound change. By affirming compassion toward ourselves and others, we open the door to healing and harmony in our lives and communities. I can recognize stray thoughts and let them go. Mindfulness is at the heart of this affirmation, which reminds us that we have the power to observe our thoughts without being controlled by them. In a world full of distractions, many of us experience intrusive thoughts, self-doubt, or negative mental chatter. This affirmation, "I can recognize stray thoughts and let them go," serves as a reminder that we don't have to engage with every thought that arises. Instead, we can observe them and choose which thoughts to focus on. Practically, this affirmation is incredibly helpful for managing stress and anxiety. For instance, if someone finds themselves worrying excessively about a future event, they can use this affirmation to regain control over their thoughts. By recognizing that the worry is simply a thought, they can detach from it and bring their focus back to the present. This process helps reduce the power of intrusive thoughts, allowing them to approach life with greater peace and clarity. The power of this affirmation is exemplified in the story of Eckhart Tolle, the spiritual teacher and author of The Power of Now. Tolle describes how he struggled with depression and anxiety for much of his early life, feeling trapped by his own mind. Through mindfulness, he learned to observe his thoughts without attachment, ultimately finding freedom from his mental suffering. His teachings emphasize the importance of recognizing stray thoughts and letting them go, a skill that has helped millions of people around the world. By integrating this affirmation, we can cultivate a sense of mental calm, letting go of thoughts that do not serve us. I will remain present, focused, and aware. This affirmation, "I will remain present, focused, and aware," serves as a commitment to mindfulness. In a world where multitasking and distraction are common, this affirmation encourages us to stay grounded in the present moment. It reminds us that true happiness and clarity are found in being fully engaged with what's happening right here and now. In practical application, this affirmation can improve productivity and well-being. For example, if someone is working on a project but finds their mind wandering, they can repeat this affirmation to refocus. By bringing their attention back to the present, they can work more efficiently and with greater intention. This affirmation is also helpful in social situations, as it encourages us to be fully present with the people around us, fostering more meaningful connections. One inspiring figure who embodies this affirmation is Thich Nhat Hanh, the Vietnamese Zen master known for his teachings on mindfulness. Nhat Hanh has dedicated his life to teaching the importance of presence, often encouraging his students to approach every moment with full awareness. His famous phrase, "Walk as if you are kissing the earth with your feet," captures the essence of remaining present and focused in each step. By practicing this affirmation, we can embrace each moment with mindfulness, cultivating a sense of peace and joy in our daily lives. Integrating affirmations into daily life requires commitment and intention. Here are some practical tips for building an effective affirmation practice. Repeat affirmations consistently. Repetition is key. Try incorporating affirmations into your morning routine or repeating them before starting a challenging task. The more consistently you practice, the more deeply the affirmations will resonate. Combine affirmations with visualization. Pairing affirmations with visualization can amplify their impact. As you repeat an affirmation, visualize yourself embodying its qualities. For instance, when affirming "I am compassionate toward myself and others," imagine yourself interacting with kindness and patience. Use affirmations during difficult moments. When facing challenges, affirmations can provide a quick mental reset. In stressful situations, take a moment to repeat an empowering affirmation, such as "I will remain present, focused, and aware." This practice helps redirect your attention and calms the mind. Reflect on your progress. Take time to reflect on how affirmations have influenced your mindset and actions. Notice any shifts in your self-perception or behavior. This reflection reinforces the impact of affirmations, motivating you to continue your practice. As we wrap up today's session on the Dharma Blossom, let's take a moment to reflect on the journey we've just explored. Meditation and mindfulness are not just tools for stress relief, they're gateways to a stronger, more resilient mind. Through the simple acts of focused breathing and present awareness, we begin to unlock a wellspring of inner strength. Regular practice empowers us not only to face life's challenges but also to heal from within, fostering a profound sense of balance and self-compassion. Imagine someone who started with just 5 minutes a day, using meditation to unwind after work. They found themselves calmer, less reactive, and more intentional. Over time, that small daily practice grew, and they began approaching each day with renewed clarity and patience. This transformation wasn't overnight. It was a gradual, steady shift as they cultivated a deeper connection with themselves. It's a journey that is available to all of us, one step, one breath at a time. As you move forward, think about how you can weave mindfulness into your daily routine. It might be as simple as starting the day with a moment of silence, breathing deeply to set an intention, or pausing at midday to recenter. These small acts accumulate, strengthening our minds, guiding us through life with a steadier hand. Thank you for joining us here on the Dharma Blossom. This is just the beginning of a journey toward empowerment and inner peace. And there's so much more to explore together. So, remember to keep practicing, to be gentle with yourself, and to let each meditation session bring you one step closer to a more centered, resilient version of yourself. Until next time, breathe deeply, stay present, and let your mind blossom.